Sony's PlayStation 2 was a great console. In fact, if you've been around for more than a minute, you'd know how much I fucking love this thing. It was an incredible system, and for many of us who use this as our main form of childhood entertainment, it was basically what kept us in mama's basement. However, as with all roadblocks in life, there would always be some bumps here and there. What I'm trying to say is that with that greatness came some real fucking shit. Games that really bastardize an otherwise great console and are a stain on the PlayStation 2's legacy to this very day. These games would come in the form of all sorts of shit, with one of them being a game based off of a Quentin Tarantino movie called Reservoir Dogs. Now, I'll be honest, I've never seen the film, but according to the Wikipedia, the game follows the same plot as the movie, only expanded. And if that's the case, oh boy.
You better start talking, asshole. Because we got shit we need to talk about.
It's also worth noting that this game also came out on the Xbox and PC, but for this video, we got the PS2 version. So now that we got that shit out of the way, let's dive right in to Reservoir Dogs. Since I don't really need to talk about story, I'll instead focus on gameplay with this video. If you're expecting me to say that this game was surprisingly some kind of hidden gem, you've looked to the wrong place. It's shit, so lower your expectations to the fucking ground because damn, son, terrible. The first issue here is the storytelling. The game supposedly follows the film, but even then, it's hard to really fucking tell what's actually going on because the gameplay loop is so stressful. You're kind of getting stories from every perspective, with everything tying in at the end, but after dealing with all of this nonsensical shit gameplay, you kind of forget what you're even doing in the first place. This is something I've had a lot of issues with recently. I played Death Stranding 2 not that long ago, and I swear to you, it felt like the monotony of delivering packages made me periodically forget what the fuck was actually going on with that weird ass shit. But that's a completely different game that I'm not talking about here. Death Stranding 2 is fine, and Reservoir Dogs is one of the biggest pieces of shits I've ever exposed myself to. You know, I like to use movies and video games as an escape from how shit the world can really be, but media like this feels like an insult. Imagine being someone who absolutely loves films and games, and then you see some of these movie-based games thinking like, oh shit, it's two of my favorite fucking things combined. But the point really is, these games were probably meant to exist for a target audience. It was an attempt at a scummy cash grab, but fuck if they didn't end up as shit bombs. So what else is there to say about Reservoir Dogs? Well, let me tell you that this game has this system where you're supposed to not actually kill anyone. Instead, you're supposed to talk them into doing certain shit, like going against a wall, or stuff like getting cops to surrender. Naturally, I didn't give two fucks, so I just went around blasting dudes. Killing a lot of people gives you more of this psycho ranking. You can either do missions really well being a mostly nice person for the professional ranking, or really shitly killing everyone, and at the end of every mission, you'll see this meter change. Like I said earlier though, why would I actually give a flying fuck about this, so I just mowed people down. The main point of doing this is because depending on that meter, you'll get a different ending. I honestly didn't really give two fucks about this because about an hour into the game, I got so fucking bored that I wanted to stop playing this in the first place. But with the grace of whatever holy deity exists out there, I did discover that the game was like 2 fucking hours long through a random let's play and decided to just keep at it for myself. At that point, I really was just fucking sore. I wanted to get the fuck up off of my chair and go play something else, but I was also being stubborn. I didn't want to let this shit go. So with the garbage story meter in mind, let's talk about mission structure. So unless you're going to try for that peaceful shit, you get a lot of shooting. I mean a lot. This is where some of the game's issues come into play. Now, be real, I didn't actually expect much from a third-person shooter from 2006, but I at least expect when I have my fucking crosshairs on a dude locked the fuck on, I'll get some hit detection. This is actually really fucking shitty because this is prehistoric age design trash where you can't carry health packs or have regenerating health. Instead, healing through these first aid kit station things that are scattered all over. Kind of a pain in the ass because you can't use them more than once. There were a few times this actually fucked me raw, causing me to get killed. Not the most pleasant experience, but honestly, fuck these things. So anyway, with the shitty shooting and health also comes bad level design. I mean, you wouldn't believe it, but these linear ass levels don't really do a good job of pointing you where the fuck to go. I swear I was finding myself confused as all hell, looking up and down, feeling like I needed to look up a stupid ass guide or something. I hate that shit. Having to look up a guide makes me feel like I'm wasting my fucking time, especially for something like basic direction. And then when you finally do figure out where you're supposed to go to next and what you're supposed to do, you just kind of wonder what the fuck is next. At the end of each level, you get more of these shitty looking cutscenes that are basically just fucking bad.
Shut your fucking mouth!
Like I said, both story and gameplay feel strange how they're juxtaposed together. I mean, I'd imagine that this movie is probably really good, but it shares a name with a game that feels like a low-budget attempt at ripping off Max Payne or something. It's pretty rough, and actually hurts more than it helps. I'll be real for a second, too. I don't think all movie-based games are bad. We've had some pretty dope-ass Lord of the Rings games and shit like that. But this is something that probably could have done without a video game adaptation. I don't think this game even needs to exist in the first place. Imagine you're one of the people who bought this fucking game when it was brand new. I mean, fuck. I could have gone my whole life without knowing of this game's existence. I didn't even find out about it until like maybe 2 days before writing this script. I think maybe I would have been better off like that too. So as we continue, you do have more than just pew-pewing in the game. Because like other games that know they suck, we have these shitty ass car sections so that we don't get bored of an otherwise horrible fucking experience. I mean, you know, they're bad, and when you have to replay them, it's fucking nasty on your mental psychosis. It makes you want to unleash on every motherfucker on the next level that you play, and that's a bad thing. I think this means I've hit my breaking point with this game. Why does this shit have to be so bad? I don't know. I'll be honest, I almost didn't want to continue playing this game when I was halfway done. I was so fucking frustrated and extremely bored that I just wanted to not bother at all. But alas, the developers knew how bad the game was, so they put in cheat codes that basically make you so immortal that the game turns into a fucking walking simulator with cutscenes that you quickly lose interest in because of how repetitive of a package of this game becomes the moment you realize how shitty the gameplay is. You know, this game is so fucking bad that it makes me not give a shit about the actual movie too. I would have watched it if I didn't play this fucking terrible game, so thanks a lot. You ruined it for me. So after grinding away those ridiculously terrible chapters and finally seeing the game to the end, you get that sweet credit roll soured by 3 hours of some of the most terrible shit ever. Final verdict? This game is pretty fucking bad, and I'm ashamed to say that I've played it. It's now something that's a part of me and will exist with me until the day that I'm ashes and dust. And when I'm rotting in hell, I can think back on it as I'm burning up. Think back on how I wasted hours of my life that I could have spent doing more important things with. I could have been spending more time with my family or meeting new people, but instead, I spent that time wasting my life playing a horrible video game. And with that, thank you all for watching, but I'm just done with this one.